What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. Hope you're all doing well and ready to enjoy some action, some good TA, enjoying the stream. We're gonna keep it nice, sweet, and we're gonna try to get into the charts as deep as we can. Are you ready for some TA over here and take some good trades? So let's get down to it. All right. We're looking at Algo at the moment. I want to start with Algo today because I posted a trade earlier, a trading idea. It didn't play out. Algo is still slightly moving up, but it might play out. We are hitting the 0.786 retracement. Now I'll get rid of some of these lines for clarity. Look at that move from Algo today. Such a nice move. Let's look at how much did it move today. I mean, these altcoins, they move very volatilely every day. Like this is like a 10% move today. Not very volatile, but if you are going to trade it, then you need to be very careful and aware of your levels. We've exceeded the 0.786. We are above the value area high, and we are heading to the 1-to-1 extension recovery. You can argue that we have recovered the dump that we had on the 2 days ago. So we are there. We've recovered this liquidity. Algo has only one thing to do: either go down or go all the way up to recover this liquidity. And at this level, it's a gun level. I'll show you how to get that. And maybe reverse down. We have a Gann square of 9 indicator on TradingView you could get. It's called Gann square of 9. And essentially, they're more or less like pivot points. You see that price action would react at these levels, even on smaller time frames. If you go to them, you notice that. See how we get on the level and kind of bounce around, and maybe we might be going back to this point. So even if we come down, your next support for Algo is at 0.28. You have the value area high. You never know, we might be going high on Algo. Now my trading idea for Algo, we could have been done with this move down on Algo. Not everything has to follow Bitcoin. I mean, if Bitcoin dumps, everything will dump, but to some extent, sometimes they move away from Bitcoin. You could say we kind of had a 1-2, which they came very close to each other. I'm not very happy with that, but we could have had a 1-2, and this is a third wave down with a 1-2-3. This is very telling for a third wave. When you look at the volume over here and the volatility and how fast it moves, 3, 4, and we're done with a 5. Or this was a 5 with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Possibly this is a 4 retracing for this 5th wave, and then we may go down for a 5th. So if this is a 4, we could go down as we could come as high as from the high to the low. The wave 4 essentially is measured from the wave 3. So at least the 0.236, between the 0.236 and the 0.5. And you can see at the moment, if we go left, we are at the so many of these. Just give me a second. Let me clear the chart out. Okay, this is my main fib. I'll get rid of that, and let's go back to wave 3, which wave 3 started up here, down to wave 4. We are above the 0.236 retracement. We could go up to the 0.382. That would be Algo at 0.318. We could do that. That would be still a wave 4. We could even go to 0.34 for Algo, and that would be still a wave 4. Then we would be coming down. If this is done now, Algo could go as low as, we'll measure it out. How low could Algo go for 5th wave? If this is done, if Algo is done with this move to the upside, then we could go as low as the 1-to-1 at 0.08, or even the 1.618, which is at negative, which I think won't happen. But yeah, 0.08 is very, very low. It's like, what? It's like, that's crazy. I don't know how low could it go, but 0.08 essentially will bring Algo down by 72%, another 72%. Might not happen. Algo might be done, the wave count might be wrong, and we may be rotating up to the upside. But everything across the board, Bitcoin and all the other indices and the crypto market don't look too good, so I wouldn't put much hope in them. We had a big move down. We need to be aware of that. We had a big move down, and we need a bit of a relief. It's a must to get a relief rally, at least a small one, a recovery, to give a chance for big money to come in and place some more shorts again. So pump it just to dump it. That's how it goes. You can see we recovered it almost fully. I mean, I want to show you this to prove to you that vector candles are always recovered, almost always. I'll take a horizontal line and I'll take the high of this vector candle. The high was at 0.2958. Try to place it exact 0.2959. We came as close as 0.2952. I mean, fractions. I got into a short on Algo, hoping for it to go down. I'm still in the short. The short is in the red. So if you cannot handle being in the red and you cannot manage it, then I wouldn't advise it to remain in that short if you are in the short. I mean, I hope you had a stop loss if anyone took it. Otherwise, it's a good idea. Not telling you what to do, but it's just how it seems. Quant on the other hand, this is Quant on the 4-hourly. Let's go on the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, we have Quant. It came up to the 0.618. We had the 0.618 over here. We came above. We wicked above. And we got rejected to the downside. We are below the 50 EMA on the 1-hourly chart. We had this move down. It was a good short for me, and now we're rotating to the upside. Now I've moved my stops, so in case even if it moves up, then I'm still in a good place, a safe place, and hoping for lower prices. These shaded areas, I'm hoping for at least 114. 114 for Quant will be a good point of support. If we lose that, then we're coming down to the 112 where we have the value area low. Usually if you get rejected from the point of control, you come down to the value area low, at least. I mean, I have a Gann level. I showed you the Gann square of 9. I marked it out over here. If Quant goes up, then we're coming up to the 121 or 121.5. It is a possibility for Quant. It's not so far-fetched. So, I mean, it is possible. If you go to the smaller time frames and we look at our EMEs, the 15-minute time frame, the 50 and 200 could cross, though the 50 looks like it's still curving down, the 200 slightly curving up. We may continue. If we pull down lower again, then they will cross. This is a vector zone. See how the 15-minute candle wants to recover this vector. That's what usually happens. And we have the other vector zone here. We don't always have to recover them. We will eventually, but when is a question nobody knows. So if quant starts releasing this vector zone, as you see, it's eating into liquidity, eating into the longs that came in here. We would come down here to grab these longs, possibly even come down and perform a swing failure, maybe at the lows or even lower targets. In the sense of looking at RSI, let's take an RSI. Sorry about that. RSI. Let's remove these indicators. We'll get back to them later. I'll take RSI. And MFI. We are to see if we have any divergences. On the hourly, on the 4 hourly, nothing. 1 hour, we had bearish divergence today, and it played out perfectly. On the 4 hourly, is there any bearish divergence forming? Let's look at that. Even, yeah, it formed and it played out. Actually, there wasn't. We had it on the 1 hourly. That's what gave us our dump, sorry. On the daily, not much data on the daily, but if we go to quant USDT, sorry, not the perpetual futures. On the daily, nothing here, nothing major, no divergences over here. On the money flow, as you can see, on the money flow, we are having lower highs and we're having higher highs. That is hidden bearish div. That is a continuation pattern, sorry. And the RSI is showing me the same thing. We're having a high and a higher high. Hidden bearish div on the daily. So on the daily, we have hidden bearish div on more than one indicator. However, it's not confirmed yet. The daily candle hasn't closed. It will confirm later on, but at the moment it is forming, and we might get some continuation. We could use some other indicators that help us decide on when to trade. I mean, how to enter a trade. If you want to enter a trade, you need sometimes some confluence or some indicators to help you decide. So if you are trading and you want to know when to trade, I usually use EMAs, moving averages, exponential moving averages. I use the 5, 13, 200, 233. You can see the 233 and the 200 are on the 15-minute. They are below us as support. On the hourly, we have them above. We have the 200 below, is a 200 moving average below, and 233 above. The 233 comes at the point of control, Gann level, very close to the 0.65 Fibonacci. So within this zone, this will be a strong zone of resistance if quant decides to go lower. I mean higher, sorry. So we can see we're seeing some kind of a reversal here on quant. I might get stopped out, but hey, that's what it is. It is what it is. That's the game of trading. You win some, you lose some. You need to manage your risk. We are at the 50 on the 15 minutes, so getting support above the 50 could be bullish, but you see sometimes, I'll show you an example. We got support, we get a move up, eventually we do come down. However, even on the 15-minute, you can see clear as day we are forming higher lows. But if you were to draw a trend line at the moment, let's take a trend line. From our low over here of the 14th of November, and take it to this, you can expand it like this or even like that. We've broken the trend. I mean, even if you do this and you see you took it here, you are back testing that trend line at the moment. And even if you do this, then okay, this is your new support, then you may come down and retest it. So trend lines, it depends how you draw them. They could be I mean, it's a matter of perspective. We formed a double top, came down, double bottomed, and a double top. I mean, they could be a Gartley over here. This is some sort of a W. It could be a Gartley. You could have a Gartley. Not very sure of the measurements. I used to use them, don't use them anymore, but you could say X to A. But you need to know the correct Fibonacci levels to do this. You need to use fib retracement. Then you come all the way here and you dump, and then you say your target for this would be from A to D. Your first target 0.382, 0.5, you hit the 0.618, and that's what happens. And then you could have what you call it, you could have another Gartley playing out over here. I'm not very sure, but yeah, so M's, W's forming all around. So yeah, the market is indecisive. That's when you see contraction in the market. So if you take, this is a fixed range volume from back here. If we hide it for the moment and hide all the other indicators and just take price action and volume profile. And one more thing, let's take volume into account. If you look at the volume, it's been declining as price goes up. That is volume divergence. I mean, that tells you that the market is going up in very low volume. That's not bullish at all. You could take another fixed range volume profile from here. You could take it for this entire range, because this was a range essentially. Take it from here to there. We are at the value area low. We are above it. Point of control is a possibility. Gann level is a possibility. So you just need to be aware of those things when it comes to quant. Targets for quant, as I showed you before, we could come down, test the 101 if we were to go lower. A lot of these assets are moving correctively. That means we are in a correction, maybe to the upside, then we might come down. That's for quant. Let's go to another asset I was looking at a few days ago, and I shared with you, I was telling you it's looking like a good trade, but I didn't take it simply because it's a very volatile asset. And I posted it today in the video. I was telling you I was looking at it when it was here. We had so much confluence over here, and look at it, recovering the vector candles. Look at that, eating into liquidity all over again, all the way down. So that would be a good move if someone took this. We had confluence over there. I was showing you that's an 11% move with leverage. You can make a lot of money. And I think we have divergence over here, maybe some divergence played out. If we take the RSI, indicator over here, you might see some divergences. The RSI, this is on the 4 hourly. You had higher highs on price action over here, clearly, and then you had lower highs on the RSI over here. This was on the beginning of the daily candle yesterday when we had this pump. Today, early on, when we had this pump, that was bearish divergence, and it was telling you that we may go down. You had volume divergence, bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. On the daily, no divergences. On the hourly, at the moment, are you forming another hidden bearish divergence or something to help us continue the trend down? No hidden bearish divergence. But yeah, the 4 hourly divergence played out. 4 hourly divergences are strong, higher time frames are stronger. And in addition to that, you maybe had the Ahla CG oscillator, Ahla stochastic CG oscillator maybe was giving you a signal. I'll show you what I look for when I want to take a trade. Make my trade highly probable. There, you got a double top. Wow, that was beautiful. But that formed like 8 hours ago. I think about 3 hours ago you got that breakdown. Now that would be a good double top to take to the downside if you want to trade this asset. It's a possibility. You're not going to go to zero, you're not going to make millions from one trade, but yeah, it is a possibility. You just need to be aware of your 50 EMA and other indicators along the way, your volume profile and all that. I want to look at Quant and Algo with the Ahla CGI. Okay, we could form a double top on this indicator. On Algo, we might do this and then this and then come down, but I can't say for sure until it is confirmed. So I'll be looking at that on the hourly. No double top. On the 2 hourly, is it forming? We might curve down and start forming it on Algo. Now we go to Quant and see that, are we forming anything? We are oversold on the 2 hourly. On the hourly, we have more upside to go. On the 4 hourly, we're curving down, so no double tops on the 4 hourly. Litecoin, let's look at Litecoin. 1 hour, 4 hourly, no double top. 1 hourly, we have more upside to go. 2 hourly, we had a double top. Look at that, we had this over here, but look, even with a double top that started forming over here, you had a spike up. You could have been stopped out, and then essentially a continuation down to here. You still had a pump and a pump, even though this was going down, so it doesn't play 100%. So when you take a trade, it's not going to go to zero. Now this pattern over here, I've seen it so many times. When you have something like this, looks like a head and shoulders or a castle, it usually doesn't end well. That I can tell you, it doesn't usually end well. We had this at around 63, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna end well for that. Now let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trying to hold, is fighting to hold. This is on the 4 hourly. We are below our point of control of this range. We are below it. We are trying to hold higher highs for Bitcoin. We broke the trend over here, but now you may say we have a micro trend over here. That's what I'm looking at. We have a micro trend over here. And we may break down to the value area low. It's a possibility, but we are holding. This level is very strong for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very strong at this level. It's probably, let's look from the low to the high. Close to the 0.5 fib, but not there yet. About below the 0.382, close to the 0.5 fib. We are still in this macro box that I had forever. Looking at the ECLA CG oscillator, stochastic CG oscillator for Bitcoin, 2 hourly, we might form a double bottom and pump it. 4 hourly, we are curving down. 1 hourly, shorter time frame, we are getting to that overbought region, even though price didn't move that much, so we may continue down. We have our 200 moving average, simple moving average, and our 233 coming down on the hourly. The 233 is around the golden pocket zone, I'm telling you that again, and close to the value area high, so you may face some resistance over there. So we might have something like this. Let's look at the 4 hourly. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Actually 2 hourly. What if the 2 hourly does this and comes up, and price does a bit of this, comes up and gets rejected at those EMAs that I was telling you? Maybe form a higher low, but it still may get rejected at those zones. That's some ideas I'm looking at and seeing what could happen. But other targets for Bitcoin that I have are these targets. We have a descending trend line that comes down from it was supposed to be resistance over here. I'll show you at this point, and you will see that it was respected nicely at this point before our breakout in July. We had this double top resistance, and probably it was forming some divergence. We had a high, lower high, and then over here, maybe on the RSI, we had divergence. That's why I marked it out. Okay, over here we had a high and a higher. Actually not, but yeah, maybe on the RSI I had something, so I marked it as a descending resistance that price will respect. But we broke out, came down, retested it again, wicked below it, and pumped it again. Now if we come down, I would expect at least some kind of bounce from this green trend line. You see what happened here? Broke down below it, pump, touched it, pump, and now if we come down, that line will be at 15.9 again. If we go up, then we have this descending trend line from 25k region that we formed. You can see over here at around, what was it? Was it 25? Let's look at that. This high was at around 20,000. Okay, it was a descending trend line. We broke out of it. When we came down, tested it as support, but we didn't hold, broke down. But if we go up, it might hold as support. We have our moving averages. This is on the 2 hourly coming down. The 200 and 233 are both coming down. To the lower side, we have a Fibonacci channel target at 13798. ECLA CGI oscillator, I told you already about Bitcoin. Dollar index closed kind of bullish today. We closed above 106.9, so that's a good sign for the dollar, bad for the market. Dow Jones closed 180 points green. Nasdaq was slightly in the red. We went down to 11,679. So yeah, all in all, let's look at the Dow Jones. Did it manage to break any highs? Let's look at the daily. Actually no, it didn't manage to break this high over here that it got rejected. That was a the 1-to-1 fib retracement. Let's look at the 4 hourly. 200 EMA on the Let me just put 200 here so you can see. It was a 200 EMA on the daily, kissed it perfectly, and oh, that was the S&P, sorry, not the Dow Jones. The S&P is the one that kissed the 200 EMA on the daily and got rejected over here, as you can see. Yeah, it was the S&P, not the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is doing better than the Nasdaq and the S&P in my opinion, for some reason. Now, Ethereum, I marked this zone yesterday for you guys, and I'm just waiting for that pump. If we get there, then I would be considering entering a trade on a reaction. The region between 1265 and 1286 we will have. I'll show you how I got this level so you know how to trade. I took a Fibonacci retracement from, where's my 1-to-1? Yeah, from this high to this low. So from this high at around 1348 to the low at around 1169, and the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement and the 0.65, which is a golden pocket, comes in and around this region. And things change in the market, markets move, so you need to be aware. This was yesterday probably. We had the 233 EMA, which is still around this region. We have a horizontal resistance level, and we have the point of control of this fixed range volume profile. So that's three confluences, as I showed you, usually work, but you don't get married to your trade. You don't hug your trade and get married to it. You trade, you make money, you get out as soon as possible. Now you have this 200 simple moving average above us, which may be a problem. So just be aware of that. If it starts pumping, it doesn't have to get here. It can stop wherever this is. To the downside, we have targets, value area low, and we have the 994 region. That's for Ethereum. We're holding very well at 1205. 1170 is a strong zone for Ethereum. I want to take a look at one more altcoin. Let me see what SPF is doing. I don't even know this coin. I just stumbled upon it when I saw that it gained so much in one day on Binance. I was watching the biggest gainers, and this was a gainer. But you're forming, even though you're going down, you're forming two things. I would say you're forming bullish patterns, possibly a descending channel which could break to the upside. You're forming a bull flag, sorry, from the high to the low, which depend on where it breaks. If it breaks somewhere around here, it could take it up to the 0.8875 for SPF. So that's a bullish target for SPF. But I feel the move is getting overextended, but these altcoins can do miracles. I mean, we were stuck in this range. We had some sort of W formation, and we are pumping up. We are at resistance. This is on the daily. This is big resistance level for this token. And getting to the 0.88 would bring us to recover. Possibly this was a vector candle, so 0.88, where would 0.88 be? Somewhere here, up to here, to this level of resistance. Chiliz is another token I wanted to take a look at. I'm waiting for a level to be hit for a possible trade. Maybe not. If Chiliz gives me that. We are approaching it. The level is over here. It will recover this entire vector candle and maybe exceed it a bit. But yeah, those are my levels for Chiliz. That will be the highs of 8th of November. It looks like we are heading that way. Let's look at the 1 minute. What are we doing? We are clinging to the 50 EMA possibly. I think we broke down the 50 and maybe we're bearishly retesting it. If you take a look at traders, there we go. Let's look at where the 50 is. we are above the 50. We have the candle, the vector candle above the 50, and it might take us higher. But just to let you know that for chilies, we have hit the 0.786, exceeded it and got rejected. We are at a horizontal level of resistance. So that's for chilies. We are above the value area high for this range, but of course you could take another range because you formed a new range over here. So for example, you were here and you wanted to measure the range, you take it from here to there, and your value area high was here, you exceeded it. So you're above the value area high. So I would say if we come down, maybe we retest that value area high bullishly if chili wants to break out from here. You may retest the value area high, which was at our golden pocket, which had high confluence, but unfortunately we only had 2 confluences. Didn't mean much. Sometimes it does, but yeah, over here maybe you might come down and retest again 0.2391 and continue higher. When you see tokens trading so far from the 50 EMA, you have to know that you're getting to a point where, okay, you might come down to put things back into balance. You are essentially pumping to recover this wick and this wick. On the 1 minute chart is where, I look at higher time frames, but then I decide on my trade, or if I'm waiting for a trade, I look at smaller time frames and see that I didn't go into chilies because I didn't get what I want. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere here, and I don't like to trade in the middle of nowhere. It's not that safe to do that. That's not the way to trade, not the way to make money. EOS, I haven't looked at this token for a while. EOS is below the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. We are forming some sort of double bottom formation over here with a higher low. So there is a chance that EOS breaks out to the upside. We have our EMAs coming down at around 0.927 and 0.935, and you have the 200 simple moving average at 0.907. Actually, it's 0.908 to be precise. But as I'm saying, all these pumps are done in very low volume. You could see that in EOS. Look at that volume dying out. As you move up, volume is dying out. So nothing really bullish, even for the king. Let's look at the king. What does the king say? Volume is next to nothing. Look at that. You pump up with volume going down. That is volume divergence. Now you pumped up, volume dying out. So it doesn't look bullish to me. It looks like you can see clearly there's no volume in the market. The weekend might be interesting. We might be moving down. I'm not sure, but looking at the altcoins, they are pumping like crazy. They're having the times of their life. Look at that. One candle after another, continuation. But we're starting to wick to the upside. Might be momentum dying out. Might be. On the hourly, we are above the 200 and the 233 EMA. 200 and 233 are below us. We didn't get a rejection there. On the 4 hourly, we are above the 50. We have our EMAs coming in here at the 1.618 extension level, and if it gets here, then this could either be a beginning of something, a 3-wave move up, then we pull back for a 4th and continue higher, or we may be forming an ABC, because an ABC, let's see the ABC, where can it take us as the 1.618 for this move. A, B, C could bring us up to this region, 0.3571. That will be very interesting, and we'll be into this vector candle zone, and we might continue recovering this entire candle. I think this weekend Will be interesting. I might be wrong, but yeah, the alts are pumping. Not good news for shorts. The short that I took in this isn't looking too great, but I'm hedged in other positions on other assets, so it's fine. On the 1 minute, you haven't even lost the 50, so that's telling you that you still, as a trader, if you even on the lower time frame you haven't lost the 50, then you'd be like, maybe not so much of a good trade. So I'll give you an example. On SPF, you're still above the 50, so that's even on the 1 minute. So if you haven't lost it on the 1 minute, after a pump, you haven't lost. Chili's is pulling some nice moves. Chili's is going wild. It's recovering this vector. Quant on the 1 minute, we lost the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. The next vector zone is at 117 and 116, but you have support underneath you. On the hourly, you weren't able to get above it even, but you are at the value area. You're struggling at the value area low, so you got above it. If this candle isn't able to follow through up and we break down, then there's a good chance we might range at this tight range for a bit, maybe go down or maybe go up. But essentially, if this candle closes below 117.13, that will be a bearish engulfing candle, and the next candle I expect it to come even a bit lower. We have vectors on the 15 minute over here, so we might come down and recover it. We are getting rejected on the 15 minute by the 50 EMA. This looked like a good V-shaped recovery. It might be. This happens also in Bitcoin. I see it play out sometimes. We do this and you say, oh, the V-shaped recovery is failing, but we do something like this. We still maintain a higher low, and then we take another step, and continue like that until we get above this region over here where we're getting support. So for a V-shaped recovery to be valid, you need to go pump with volume, not just one. You need to continue with volume. Look at the volume on this small candle and the volume on this big candle. That is volume divergence. I mean, a bigger candle with smaller volume tells you something. But if you get above this region over here, then you get support to recover this vector candle and get into the 0.618 region of this, and possibly another trade for quant. I mean, it worked over here. I'll show you. It worked over here. Let's hide this. It worked over here for me and we came down, and again over here it worked and we came down. So yeah, and it's still working out. I'm still in the trade. My stop loss is in a small profit for now. I'm not happy to close the trade. I don't want to close it. I want it to go lower. Market does what it wants to do anyways. Solana, did I look at Solana? No, I haven't. Solana broke down bad. Look at that. An attempt of recovery. We haven't. We came right into these vector zones and ate the liquidity. Oh man, if Solana is doing this high peaks, 3 peaks or whatever, and continue to this vector, sheesh, that won't be good. Let's see how it plays out. Solana is below the POC. The POC for Solana is at 14138 for that. So we have some levels in Solana to be aware of. We have the value area low that comes at 11. So anyone that went long over here I hope they're taking profit, because I think we still have some vectors down here that we need to recover for Solana. No vectors? That's impossible. Let me hide this. Yeah, no vectors even on the 15-minute. Probably on smaller time frames you'll find vector zones for Solana. Let's see, do you have anything below 11? We have this at 9 and at 11, so that's on the 5-minute time frame. This reminds me of the June level. We went to the low, pumped up, came down, ranged a bit on Bitcoin, made a new high, 25k, came down, made a lower high. So we might be doing that with Solana. It's highly possible. This high was at 18.263. Musk was a token I traded. Let me see, what is Musk doing? Wow, I'm not in the trade, but look at that. Look at Musk. Looks like it's just going to continue lower and lower and lower. Now let's look at the charts on biggest gainers, biggest losers. Algo is a big gainer. It was a big gainer from yesterday probably. Ape, why is Ape pumping and Algo pumping? Chili's 13%. Chili's looking like a good short. It's at 13% gains. Ape and Chili's. So that's how I look at the coins. I look at big gainers sometimes. I try to figure out who's a big gainer. Okay, Chili's is a big gainer for the day. Where are we in Chili's? Any levels of resistance incoming? 200 EMA broken, wicked above, came back, ranging at the 200 EMA for Chili's. So Chili's looks like it's at a 1-to-1 extension from the low. Take it from here to here to this low. We are close to the 1-to-1 and an ABC pair. It might be an ABC or beginning of something. ApeCoin, if it's starting something over here, this is on the hourly. If it's starting something over here, and this is the rotation to the upside, ApeCoin could see 3.29 or even 3.586. We could see that for ApeCoin. We have the 200 EMA now, sort of resistance. We are above, we are playing with it. On the 15-minute, maybe we are on the 50. We're on the 800 and the 50 is right under us. So just be careful with Chili's. 1 minute. On the 1 minute, we're just ranging around the 50 EMA, but we are more to the downside. 50 EMA now is pointing to the upside. It might pump up, recover this, and go down. So Chili's is acting crazy. The pump on the 1 hourly, I'll show you something. The pump on the 1 hourly is not volume supported. I mean, just 1 bar on this second candle. So you got the most volume at the highs. That's funny. You see the lower volume over here, this big candle, people come and buy at the highs. The smallest candle at the highs, you get the buys. That's how people trade. Let's look at our RSI. We might be forming or have formed divergence. Low high, no divergence on the 1 hour. On the 4 hourly, nothing here. On the 2 hourly, I can't see any divergences. 15 minutes is not overbought, so I don't expect any. On the 1 hourly we were overbought. On the 4 hourly we still have some room. On the 2 hourly we came to the, we're still within the bullish range. Even on the 1 hourly, we came up to the overbought region and we came down. Chili's, I'm really looking at Chili's. It's looking juicy, and SPF. Chili's, it gained so much for the day. It might be due for a retrace. You could trade retraces. It's all right. I mean, on the 1 minute, what coin is this? Where's Chili's? How is Matic doing? There, Matic is doing its crazy moves. Look at that. A very fast candle. Okay, Chili's. There you go for Chili's. We might be going to that zone that I have marked out. If you look at Chili's over here, we sort of have it on the 4 hourly divergence between this point and this point. Or maybe if we close up here, then we'll form divergence, hidden bearish divergence. If Chili's RSI closes up here, and let's take it from here, and the candle closes below this, below the 0.2936, you'll have confirmed hidden bearish divergence, continuation to the downside. So that could be for Chili's. I'm still waiting for that zone. If we get it, maybe I could consider a trade. However, I am in a few other trades and I don't want to increase my risk by exposing myself to so many trades at the same time. Ethereum Classic. Where's Ethereum Classic? There you go. Ethereum Classic looks like it's trying to recover to the upside, but it's still looking bearish. It is in somewhat a bearish pennant, just like Bitcoin and some other coins. I mean, everyone's talking about this now, bearish pennant that broken down to the downside, if you look at it that way. And you had this, and you broken down to the downside. You could say that. Depends how you want to draw them. Everyone draws them differently, so it's not very strong. However, it is a psychological pattern. It is telling you that you're forming lower highs and higher lows. You are contracting after a down move. Might tell you we are going down again. The major trend is down. The reason why I went short on Algo is because the major trend is down, and I believe I had some confluences over here. So yeah, that's why. The thing is with Algo, it looks like it really wants to come up here, and if it comes up here, it may continue. Nothing says it's going to stop over there. Might come up all the way here, 0.2983, wick above it, stop the people who have stops above, and then continue lower. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Insane strength in Algo. How much of a move was this? From this low, trend base fib to the high. We are at the 0.618 trend base fib extension. But what I was trying to look is where's the 1-to-1. The 1-to-1 is here, 0.3188. And the 1.618 is at 0.3569. So those are levels to look if we're changing the trend, or even if we're in an ABC. This move for Algo for me doesn't look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks, I don't know, it looks like a diagonal or something. And we're doing the same thing again. Look at that. You move up. Look how the move up was very steep. I mean, barely, I mean, it was tight, and then you move down. And now you're moving very tightly up, maybe to here, and you move down. And maybe that will be your 5-wave move to the upside. Yeah, that's all I have for the crypto market. GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, is closed at very low. I mean, this could be a leading indicator for where Bitcoin's going to. It just keeps breaking its lows. This is sold on the stock. I mean, it's like a stock market, sold on as shares. People buy their shares in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to get exposure to the market without have to buying a real Bitcoin. And they get yearly, maybe some yearly returns as a stock. Alright, that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. Click your notifications for updates and more trade setups. Thanks for watching. More trades. I'm out.